I'm Gary. For the past 22 years, I've been a successful stand-up comedian, football referee and father of two. Not bad for someone coming up to the big 5-0. For me, it's an excellent achievement. You see, no one expected me to reach this age, as I'm a thalidomide.
Bye, mate. Bye.
In 1958, thalidomide began to be prescribed to expectant mothers to combat morning sickness. It was thought to be an entirely safe drug. It was withdrawn in 1961 after a connection was made between the drug and a huge rise in the number of deformed babies being born.
The true story of how the evidence that thalidomide was very toxic, had caused the deformities in so many children, had been suppressed. And so the Sunday Times set out on a moral campaign to tell the stories of what it was like to have a thalidomide child.
As a reporter, Marjorie travelled up and down the country meeting thalidomide families and seeing firsthand the damage that had been caused.
Nobody wanted to know about these deformities, and the parents were blamed. Families broke up under the strain, and it wasn't really until the Sunday Times, week after week, told the nation about the horrors of this story that the battle for compensation began.
My mum's marriage was one of the ones that broke down, and she, like thousands of other mums, wasn't just left with a physical battle, but also a mental one of guilt. Here's your nanny now. How many times do you cry yourself to sleep at night?
Quite a good few. And I know it'll never be the same again.
Well, I know.
Because I wish that you'd been normal. Your arms would be normal like any other boy. It's a thing that I will never forget about in my life.
To be honest with you, and it might sound perverse this, right, but this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. We go through life as a number. How many times do people go to a club, get absolutely paralytic drunk, and wake up the next morning and say, hey, that comic was funny last night, what was his name? Don't ask me, I can't remember. Well, he had short arms and he come from Liverpool. It narrows it down a bit. It's been the best marketing ploy ever. I'm happy, I've got a nice family, I've got a nice home, I've got a nice lifestyle, and I enjoy life to the full. But not everybody's as fortunate as me, are they? One of those less fortunate is my mate, Kevin Donnellan. Kevin's a lot worse off than I am. He's got no arms and no legs. You know, at least I was able to play football as a kid and get up and walk away from situations, whereas Kevin's never been able to do that, and I think it's so sad. You would think that somebody with that much wrong with them would not be pleasant in any way, shape or form, have nothing to smile about. Kevin's just a bundle of fun. Hopefully get a scrounge cup of tea off him when we're there as well. How are you? Hello. Hello, you little reprobate fool. Whereas I was one of the first to be affected by the drug, Kevin was being born just as thalidomide was being withdrawn.
Well, I know for a fact when I was born in Alder Hay Hospital, the nurse told me, mother, you may as well leave him here because he's not going to live that long. And she said, no, I'll take him home, and thank God she did.
People wouldn't believe what you've coped with. Look, you've got a lovely home. Everything's level for you.
Well, I kind of live the way I want to live, and my definition of independent living is that I make the decisions. I still have a carer who comes in, you know, my PA.
Yeah.
So I can't do everything for myself, but at least I'm living the life that I want to live. But you know yourself, because we've been disabled from day one, you just get on with it, don't you? Like when I'm in a pub, for example, people say to me, do you want a pint? And I'll say, no thanks, I'm driving. So if they look at my wheelchair and laugh, they assume I'm just talking about the wheelchair. But they can't comprehend that I'm actually on the road in an ordinary van.
Do you feel bitter about that? Do you feel...
Not bitter, but I've always done things that people have not expected me to.
Right.
And another expectation is that, you know, we'll be single for all of our lives. I mean, you know, you've got kids and you're married. I mean, none of them, the so-called medical experts, expected any of that. In fact, they didn't think we'd live that long, did they, really?
No. It's the fact that we've survived that surprised the professionals. Compensation was low in the 70s, and I've come to speak to a solicitor to find out why. Thanks, Daisy.
In the minds of the people dealing with the settlements at that time, they couldn't really look into the future. Any claim looking into the future is almost crystal ball gazing, but at that time allowance wasn't made, in my view, for the future loss of earnings or potential future loss of earnings. And we know how difficult it is for lots of disabled people and thalidomiders to have obtained jobs and held them down.
I can play a little bit of golf.
I'm one of the lucky ones. I can go out there tonight and make people laugh. That's what I do for a living. Arthur Ashley said you've got to be a comedian to come from Liverpool. That's where I come from and that's what I do for a living. I'm off.